Exact ages, I believe it's 6 all the way up to 14. That's the range.
Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Dr. Willie Earl Wade, Jr. of Able Ministries. I have the fortunate pleasure of being able to work from home, and I'm in my home office. And while there working from home, I often watch the news, and I watch everything: CNN, MSNBC, Fox, OAN, America, to understand what's going on. I just turned to MSNBC to find out that there has been a shooting at a Catholic school church in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 2 children dead. A coward gunman barricaded them in, and he shot inside the church. He was such a coward that he didn't go in. And then he killed himself because he was afraid of the consequences that he may face. Now, there are 3 things that I hope don't happen. I hope the first thing that doesn't happen is that they ask the president about it, because there will be nothing kind or compassionate or no sense of understanding. And he will only say stuff that's probably going to hurt and infuriate the families and the families of these victims and this city and maybe even this country even more. The second thing I hope that does not happen is that they don't ask any people from Congress, especially Republicans. And I try to be bipartisan. My dad was a Reagan Democrat. What happened? Because all they're going to do is say their prayers are with them. And thirdly, the thing that I hope that does not happen, that does not absolutely happen, is that somebody takes this to politicize it or weaponize it, even on the Democratic side. I hope those 3 things don't happen. But there are 3 things that I do hope happen. I hope, first of all, that this wakes up all Americans, that violence begets violence, as the Bible says. That we live in a society where people who have not had violence happen to them but are inspired by other violent acts carry out more violent acts. People who see mass shootings are inspired by those shootings to go and shoot and kill more people. And those persons are inspired to go and shoot more people. I hope that wakes up somebody who knows that there's a potential mass shooter living in your house, under your roof, laying in the bed right next to you, that works next to you. Somebody filled with hate and bitterness towards a group or to people or a political party. And that you would be a decent human being, not a decent Republican, not a decent Democrat or independent or moderate, but as an inform on that person. Say something to that person. If you can't get through, if you're following their stream on Facebook and they're being violent and mean and evil and hateful, report that person. If you know they got guns and weapons, report that person. The second thing that I hope happen is that they change gun laws. Nobody's trying to step on your Second Amendment rights, even though you only state one part of it. But we have to do what we can to get guns out of hands of mean and evil and violent people, make it harder for people to get guns. I don't know why you need an assault weapon that's used for military combat to go hunting deer and rabbit and whatever else you're hunting. I have a couple of rifles, and that's always been good enough for me. Nobody's trying to take your guns. Nobody's trying to step on your rights. We're trying to stop little kids from dying. We're trying to stop people who are going to concerts from dying. We're trying to stop people who are at a bowling alley or movie theater or even a nightclub of alternative lifestyles, which I may not agree with, but they have a right to live. They have a right to exist. And if what they're doing is wrong, that's between them and I read the book of Revelation. You're an executioner angel. You're not the angel on a horse. You're not it. Because there wasn't no horses before you or after you. And finally, here's what I want. That you don't pray. I don't want anybody to pray. What I want you to do is participate in what you're praying for. I don't care if the candidate is Republican, Democrat, moderate, LGBTQ, XYZ plus. I don't care. But we have to have people who will act, who won't go against their own best interests, who won't put their political party over other people and practical common sense. They prayed after the last shooting, and we prayed at the shooting before that shooting, and we were called to pray at the shooting before that shooting, and the shooting before that shooting, and the shooting, because we're not participating in what we're praying for when we go to the polls, when we go and vote. We're voting against our own best interests, some of you. Some of you are voting along party lines. You don't even know what the party is about, nor do you care. All you know is I ain't voting for no Republican. I ain't voting for no Democrat. I ain't voting for no independent. And then you vote for a pedophile or a murderer or somebody that's taking money from lobbyists who has no interest in your day-to-day. These were children in a school praying. Second day of school. And they were at a mass assembly praying. And this coward barricades the door so nobody could escape and shoots inside. And kills 2 children. And others are hurt, injured. And here's what hurt that the news reporter said, that I heard Amy Klobuchar say. That she had a friend who children were at the school. And while her friend's child wasn't hurt, her friend's child had to inform the parent of another child that their child was dead. Is that where we are? We're not adults informing people that their kid is dead, which is terrible. But children are informing adults. Hey, your daughter, my daughter, tell adults, inform adults that their child is dead. Prayer without participation doesn't work. We as a country should be better than this. It is rare that I respond to these things. I just am hurt this morning. Second day of school. I don't have any idea of the race, creed, or color of these kids. I don't know their political affiliation. I don't know what their parents' political affiliation is. All I know is 2 children are dead because of a coward who barricaded the church, then shot inside stained glass As a black man who goes places in home, children should have some place where they feel safe, where they feel secure. As a black man, I know I'm not safe in my home. I'm not safe in the street. I'm not safe in a car, but I've been prepared. My parents have had these conversations with me since I was a little boy. I've had them with my son and with my daughter, but golly, man. These kids were at school, in church, praying. Is this who we are, America? America, prayer without participation won't work. It won't end stuff like this. Love without participation won't work. Kindness without participation won't work. We have to report people. We have to vote different. We have to talk to people. We have to get people mental health. To help people who are hurting. I'm going to lose friends. Well, if I lose you, you never will, my friend, if I lose you about this post. And we probably wasn't friends because you don't want to face the truth. But the truth is this: America can never be great again. And it wasn't always great for everybody. America can never be great again when children can be killed in church the second day of school. That's not the sign of a great and mighty nation. That's not the sign of a great. In great and mighty countries, children aren't inside of a church getting shot and killed by a gunman who barricades the door. A country that allows that to happen does not have the potential to be great. It is not on the road to being great. In a country where this mass shooting, racism running abound, in a country where people support a dictatorship, in a country where a pedophile or alleged pedophile, whatever, sits in the Oval Office and promotes division and hatred, that country is not on its way to being great. In a country where you don't want your rights stepped on, but you're willing to have the rights of other people of other races, creeds, colors, religion, and practices from you, you're willing to let their rights be stepped on. That's not a great country. It's not on the road to being great. In fact, it's evidence that it was never great. Great at being evil, great at promoting hurt and division. No, we're not a great nation. No, we're not a mighty nation. Because see, a mighty nation, regardless of their difference, in a mighty nation, in a great nation, we love our neighbor as ourselves. That's a mighty nation. This, I don't know what this is. But here's what I do know. That whatever it is, it can't continue. It can't continue to go this way. It can't continue to be said that we as a country are number one in the world. we're leading the world. No, we're not. In education, in technology, and development, we're far behind. And we're way, way, way behind in humanity, in humans being humane to humans. We're way behind in loving one another and caring for one another. We're way behind. And so they're going to go to the White House and they're going to ask the president. And he's going to say something hurtful. They're going to go to the halls of Congress and they're going to ask Republican and Democratic congressmen. One group is going to tell you that their prayers are with this. The other group may try to politicize it. I don't know. And guess what? I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go to the news channels. And I'm willing to bet, unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong. But I got a feeling that the news channel I'm going to, they are finally covering it. Because they wasn't covering, because that's who I was watching. That would have been the moments that this first happened. So they are. I'm not going to say their name. I'm checking another news station. They're not covering it. Going to another news station. They're just now covering it. 6 to 14 years old. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is what we allow to happen. Amy Klobuchar just said, what can we do better? Here's what we can do better. We can participate in what we're praying for. If we're praying for an end of violence, then we can participate in that end to violence. We can begin as a nation to vote and to act in the best interest, not just of ourselves, but of our brother. If that law is going to help your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your aunt, your uncle, vote for it. If that law is going to prevent a life from being taken, if it's a law about Medicaid, if it's a law about Social Security, if it's a law for veterans, if it's a law to ban people with mental illness from getting handguns, or people with anger issues from getting guns, then vote for it. Now, I want to apologize for calling the gunman a coward. I want to apologize. I don't know what mental issues he had. I don't know what mental and emotional pain he was in. But there was somebody, someone, a friend, a brother, a sister, aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, a cousin, somebody that he ran this idea by. Somebody that he was sharing his anger and his frustration with, who just laughed it off and didn't ask those questions. You really feel that way, man? You don't have any plan to hurt yourself or a plan to hurt somebody else, do you? Who said to man, I understand you're angry, I understand you're upset. But you're not planning, I know you got a few guns. You don't plan on hurting any kids or any adult. You know, who just probably laughed it up and say, yeah, I hear you. Hey, man, I hate that too. You know how many people I run into every day that are angry and upset and frustrated, black and white, in the work that I do, who sometimes share their anger and frustration at this party or that party, at this politician or that politician, or angry young people are wearing their pants down and angry at music and this and that. And I talk to them. And one of the things, I know you're upset about that. Ma'am, sir, you ain't planning on hurting nobody, are you? I hope you ain't planning on hurting nobody. Give them my number. Hey, man, before you do anything, call me. I'm not saying I prevented any of these shootings or things like that. I don't know. But everybody who's done this has talked to somebody. Everybody who's said, I want to do this to start a race, well, they talk to somebody. When good people, use of people like this, America, we're better than this. Prayer without participation will not work. It takes all of us pulling in the same direction. It takes all of us putting aside whatever our racial, political, economic, social, human divisions are, to act humane towards each other. It takes all of us. If we are going to be a great nation, it takes all of us. We can pray without ceasing. If we do not change the way we vote and who we vote for, if we blindly carry the party flag, or we blindly carry a banner and say, I'm voting for this banner, I'm voting for these people, without any regard for who may be hurt. If we say, I'm never voting for this person, I'm never voting for a woman, I'm never voting for a black, I'm never voting for a Democrat, I'm never voting for a Republican, and we might as well go pick up a gun too, because we are leading. I was a Reagan Democrat. Several other family members I know on his party ticket, and they love Jimmy Carter, and Jimmy Carter was from the South. Ronald Reagan was from out west, California, big Hollywood actor. But my dad was a truck driver. And on his campaign stump, he talked about NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Act. My dad, as a truck driver, understood, that means a better job. That means higher paying job. That means a longer route and more money, because there's no tariffs on stuff going from Mexico to Canada. We can trade freely between each other. That's more money. My company is pay. And so he voted for Ronald Reagan. His friends, for his colleagues, for his family, for his for his co-workers, for the people that he belonged to. And that group of people, that group of men, truck drivers, were the first ones to be dubbed Reagan Democrats. They didn't vote along party lines. People understood that prices would get lower. America loved Jimmy Carter, the peanut farmer. He wasn't such a bad guy. You see how much great stuff he did, after he left the office. He was a great person. He was a better person, probably Ronald Reagan, dad, and family members of mine who were farmers go to Mexico and Canada, and they could get stuff. Voted for Reagan. Had a family of Reagan Democrats. They participated. He prayed for higher wages, and the guy who offered them higher wages was a Republican. He voted for him. My family members voted for better conditions for the family, and they knew through farming they would get it, and this guy was going to help farmers. They voted for Reagan. I got my first pair of designer jeans and shoes the first year I went to school with all designer clothes on. Sneakers, Adidas sneakers. Back in those days, it was Lee jeans and name belt buckles and the colored Lee jeans. Yeah. Because what my dad prayed for on Sunday to be able to do better for what my grandmother prayed on Sunday to be able to do better for her family, what my Uncle Levi prayed for on Sunday was to be able to provide for kids and grandkids. They participated in on that day in November, on that Tuesday in November. They wasn't waiting for a Messiah to come out the sky. So if we want this violence to end, don't pray if you ain't going to participate in doing your part. With your local vote, with your federal vote, with your state vote. If you're not going, I don't care. And again, I don't care what party it is. Whatever candidate, and force the candidates to promise that. Hey, man, are you going to promise us? Are you going to promise us that you'll do something? And if he doesn't make that promise, don't vote him. If he or she makes that promise, vote him in. And if they don't keep that promise, and they get to DC or to the state house and they vote along with all the other friends, no problem. There's another election coming. Vote them out. Only give them one chance to lie to you. So yeah, pray. Pray without ceasing. But participate with practicality. Participate in your prayers. Listen, I'm a Christian evangelical. Some people have hijacked that. I'm evangelical. I'm not a Christian nationalist, but I'm evangelical. Christian evangelical. I understand that I am not obligated to a party. I'm obligated to God. And whoever is going to give my fellow human beings a better chance to survive and has a better agenda, male or female, young or old, white or black, straight, gay, transgender, I don't care. That's who I'm voting for. Now, let me say this to my other evangelical brothers and super conservatives who decided, I want to break a Bible verse down to you, who decided, I'm not going to vote for Trump, but I'm going to stay home because I can't let a woman lead me. You have misread. Here's the text. Here's the text. We use the word judges, but Deborah was not a judge. She was a warlord, among other warlords. And so when Barak goes to her, he's going to her and says, I won't go unless warlords. And she probably took somebody. She was respected and feared, and he knew if he traveled with her, his men wouldn't have to fight any of the other warlords because he would be under her protection. And she knew the territory, she knew the landscape, she knew the laws, she knew the customs of everybody around there, and would show them how to travel, the way to travel, how to behave, what the customs were, so they wouldn't cause any more problems as they were going after their enemy who went through that land. He got the victory. When the Bible talks about a man being the head of the household or a woman not being the head of the man, that's spiritual. Look at Nehemiah building his wall. Read it very close about who was building. One of the gentlemen had no sons, were out there working, helping the wall. And they were arrayed just like the men. One with a sword and the other one laying bricks. Knows the way. God uses whom he chooses. And here's what's crazy. Is the same men who would not, the same black male evangelicals who would not vote for Kamala Harris and say, because a woman ain't supposed to lead, Negro, you don't run nothing in your household. If your wife tell you to shut up and sit down, you do it. Yes, you would. Whatever your wife tell you to do, you go and do it. Your wife run the household and she run you, and yet you want to claim, I'm not letting her. Yes, your wife leading you, your daughter leading you. You hypocrite. We ain't voting for Hillary Clinton because she a woman. And your girlfriend don't let you cheat. But now all of a sudden, you so biblical. Now all of a sudden, a woman ain't supposed to be the head of a man. Oh, but when y'all get home, she your head. She tell you what to do, where to go, when to stand up, when to sit down, when to go to the bathroom. I bet she makes some of you Negroes sit down and pee. I don't care if y'all get mad. I'm mad. Children are dying. 2 children are dead. Do I know for sure that this would not have happened if Hillary Clinton would have been president or Kamala Harris would have been president and a person we have in the White House, we would have never let him in? I don't know that. But I got a feeling there was a better chance that it didn't happen. Participation is a problem. In the Bible, that somebody pray, have to participate in their prayer. They have to do something. And now, in the sanctuary, as the vicar just said, a place of prayer, a place of peace, a place of worship. This man with clearly mental issues, and anger issues, and probably a lot of other issues, barricaded little children in. And adults. Texting. 2 kids are dead. And what do? Our thoughts and prayers are with them. But when I go to the polls, I'm not with them. When there's a chance for me to change the gun laws, I'm not with them. Oh, I'll come to the funeral, I'll send flowers, I'll send the family a donation. But the family don't want your flowers. The family don't want your donations. Hell, the family could be atheists, I don't know, and don't even want your prayers. What they want is their 2 little children. That's what they want. And all you had to do, but because you are a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, a moderate, women can't lead. I ain't voting for no transgender. You think I agree with everybody I voted for? I'm going to tell you this and I'm going to close. 2 children killed, 14 children and 3 adults hurt. There was a gentleman who I did not agree with his lifestyle. I did not like him. I loved him, but I did not like him. I did not like the way he talked to people. I did not like the way I felt he treated people. One time, actually on 2 occasions, and I was a pastor, we almost got into a physical altercation. I heard he was running for the school board, and at the church I was pastoring in Queens, we had a meeting to meet the candidates for the school board or city council, something he was running for. I almost jumped on him when he walked into my church. But I listened to him as I did all of the other candidates. Guess what? He had the best program. He was saying and promising that he was going to do the most. He kept most of his promises and attempted to pass a lot of laws and legislation that brought resources and after school programs and money to the community. I almost jumped on the man. Now imagine if I wouldn't have voted that way. Imagine I would have encouraged other people to vote another way. I didn't vote based on how I felt about him. I voted based on what he was for. And no, guess what? He wasn't the Democratic choice. He wasn't the Democratic candidate. The Democratic lady, I knew her. I went to school in South Carolina with a couple of her sons, college. Just couldn't vote for her. Not because she was a woman, but she had no vision. Prayer without participation. Brother Willis, Sister Sims, Sister Brown, it won't work. Sister Watson, please encourage people to participate in what they're praying for. No, I'm not going to close with prayer. My prayer is this: that you will find the strength and the courage to participate in your prayers. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. Enjoy the rest of your week. If you can, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye. Thank you.